Today's Cowboys Report is made possible by Roan. We'll tell you all about them and their commuter collection later on in today's show. But do make note, you can get 20% off by using code CHATSPORTS over at roan.com/chatsports. Lot of free agency, rumors, ideas, targets to get into on today's show for the Cowboys. With a couple open roster spots left, will the Dallas Cowboys sign another veteran player, let's say before camp gets going? 1 for yes, 0 for no in the comments section. You knew we were going to start with Stephon Gilmore, right? That's always the top one for free agency at this stage. The Panthers have been heavily linked to Gilmore, but no real progress has been made, per Joseph Person of The Athletic, writing this: playing with Clowney in the shadow of their Rock Hill, South Carolina hometown would have its benefits. But Gilmore likely has certain contractual goals in mind, as well as other factors he's considering, like playing for a good team. Bottom line, there's been no movement on this front, despite the media interest. Maybe something will materialize with Gilmore closer to training camp, but nothing's happening right now. Until Gilmore signs, the door for a reunion in Dallas does remain open. And I do think, by the way, the shoulder surgery could absolutely be a factor here. Remember, Gilmore had that torn labrum, played through it, had surgery after the year ended. Oftentimes, you'll see that 4 to 6-ish month recovery, which we're right now at the beginning, basically, of that window opening. You got training camp in a couple months, so it's kind of like should be good to go at minimum by training camp, which I think is a realistic timeline there for Gilmore. Now, he's not the same player he was at his best, and there were even times, especially like when he had to follow guys on crossers, I didn't think the juice was still there. But he can still help you. He can still be a good football player. Now, the contractual goals mentioned by The Athletic would also be a problem in Dallas. This team has not spent more than about $3 million on an outside player or really inside player. A little bit more for Jordan Lewis technically, but not on the salary cap. So does Gilmore want to play for 1 year, $3 million? I don't think he does. And maybe the market's bad and it starts to make sense at that time. Of all the spots I would be open to just running it back, cornerback's one of them. Now, maybe you try Bland there in the nickel, and maybe Jordan Lewis feels a little bit bad. I kind of wondered if this team was going to take a either Gilmore or Lewis approach and then put Bland at the other spot because he has to start. Diggs has to start. You already did pay Jordan Lewis. But you'd feel great about the cornerback room if you did bring back Stephon Gilmore, especially cheap, because now you got starting caliber players and depth on the inside and the outside. The pinned comment on today's show: do you want to re-sign Stephon Gilmore? Y for yes, N for no. You should know the drill now with what happens here if an ad comes on YouTube. Just ignore it. Go down to the pinned comment and vote instead. Next up on our list is Jerick McKinnon, as Bleacher Report listed him as the one free agent veteran who can really help the Cowboys at this time. McKinnon does offer something this team doesn't have a lot of at this time, namely some athletic juice. Although he is not the same, home run threat he was at his prime, he does offer pass catching value. He was very good in that mold in 2022. He even had some decent red zone work with the Chiefs previously. He knows Mike Zimmer, by the way. I understand linking McKinnon to the Dallas Cowboys. It's not a great option in terms of high-end impact, but if you decide, God, we need a better third down back, we need someone with a little bit more athletic juice, of the available free agents, it's a bad group. McKinnon kind of does stand out. I think Dowdle and Deuce Vaughn can handle third down pass-catching responsibilities. Zeke can handle some check-down stuff and some run blocking. But as I said on yesterday's show with Najee Harris, which we said, I don't buy this one, and then Jane Slater totally debunked it as well, every single running back is going to be linked to the Cowboys because league-wide, it's viewed as a not very good room and, frankly, the worst room in the league. Now, today's Cowboys Report is made possible by Roan. Maybe you're having a tough time finding what to wear. It's uncomfortable. The feel isn't right. It's not quite your size, whatever. Roan is here to change that. The Commuter Collection is the most comfortable, breathable, and truly versatile set of products known to man. They have products for every occasion. We're talking about the most comfortable pants, dress shirts, quarter zips, polos, and blazers now as well. Their signature 4-way stretch fabric is breathable, flexible, and works everywhere from your commute to work to drinks after to golf, whatever. I'm going to wear this shirt all the time golfing because it fits right and it's comfortable and breathable, which is important out there on the golf course. They also have wrinkle release technology, and it's 100% machine washable, so no more dry cleaners you got to worry about. The commuter collection can get you through any workday and straight into whatever comes next. Head to roan.com/chatsports and use code chatsports to save 20% off your entire order. That's 20% off your entire order when you go to RHONE.com/chatsports and use code chatsports. Find your corner office comfort by clicking the link in the comments and the description of today's show. Next up on the free agency kind of rumors roundup here about Patrick Peterson. Not the first time and probably not the last time that Patrick Peterson ends up getting linked to the Dallas Cowboys. He remains unsigned, had spent 2 years in Minnesota, 2021 and 2022. And then, of course, the Steelers most recently back in 2023. This is a notable potential fit from the Cowboys' perspective of veteran corner, fills a need, worth considering in the end. Now, again, I will make note that Zimmer briefly overlapped with Patrick Peterson in 2021. That was his final year as the Vikings head coach. So pick a corner, the two names we've mentioned so far today. If you had to sign one, who would you rather add or, I guess, re-sign? SG for Stephon Gilmore or PP for Patrick Peterson? It is not just the Mike Zimmer connection that is worth mentioning, however brief that 1 year was. Peterson has also made public statements how he wants to be a Cowboy, or at least wanted to be a Cowboy. This is what he said near the end of the 2021 campaign. Growing up, my dreams were to be a Cowboy. At the end of the day, that didn't happen. I've still got time on the table because I've still got some tread left on the tires. Now, that was 2 years ago. And he is clearly not the same player he was at his absolute best. After all, he made the move to safety last year. And that's like the, you got 1 or 2 years left once you're a corner who makes the move to safety. It means you're a smart football player, but the juice might not quite be what it used to be there. But if you decide you need a vet corner, whether now or, knock on wood, hopefully it doesn't happen, in the event of injuries, the connection there is worth mentioning, and it is worth putting on your break in case of emergency or want the extra veteran options of a still kind of long list at corner. Plenty of, I think, fringe starting caliber players, including Peterson, Gilmore, Xavier Howard, are still out there. Now, we've got you covered with any and all Dallas Cowboys news. Player signs, player gets cut, player gets linked, and there'll be a lot of trade rumors on backs, I promise you that. We will have you covered. So if you haven't already, hit that sub button right now. Blogging the Boys, who also mentioned Patrick Peterson, so did Mike Fisher's Cowboys Country Group. Well, Blogging the Boys also, as among others, mentioned Calais Campbell as a free agent target for the Cowboys. And of the available free agents, this is one of the more appealing names to me who is unsigned on the market. He has a long and lengthy NFL career. Calais Campbell, I think, is one of, if not the best, free agent left unsigned. He does turn 38 to begin week 1, which is kind of insane for a defensive lineman. That's about as old as you're going to find him. Oh, by the way, he's still putting up good numbers. TFL, sacks, a bunch of tackles. He's still a good football player. Now, Campbell did play more edge in 2023. He did line up more on the outside. He has played a lot of defensive tackle as well. I think he's still at times at his best as a run stopper and does offer enough pass rush juice to make it worthwhile there. But he offers good flexibility on a defensive line that is still thin, especially in terms of your reliable interior options. You added Marshawn, kind of play the future Tank Lawrence role and also give you help there on the run side. Your DT room is shaky at this time. So would you sign Calais Campbell? I've got more thoughts on this here momentarily, but S for sign or P for pass. I'm always open to adding help, especially if it comes for the Cowboys' favorite phrase, at the right price. And I do think Campbell can still help. I don't know how much longer and how much more gas he has left in the tank, but it's not like he's terrible. Calais Campbell is still a good football player. And I look in particular at 6'8", 282, which is a very unique frame. I look more at defensive tackle. Right now, I've got Osa Odigizua, Mozzie Smith, Chauncey Golston, and frankly, nobody else guaranteed a roster spot. Nobody. He's played defensive tackle. He's played defensive end. He's not the same. He's on that 7 straight, 8 straight Pro Bowl years, whatever it was, back in his prime in Arizona and Jacksonville. But he's still good. He'll still get you, 5 sacks and 7 TFLs, whatever. It's not going to be the 20 TFL double-digit sack guy he was at his best, but he can help you on the interior and or help you on the edge. If Nealon, or if there's an injury, or if Nealon's slow to progress, or Williams is slow to progress, the Cowboys made a big deal about wanting to stop the run better. Adding a player like Campbell who's got inside-outside flex, I think would help you do that and would not remotely be a liability in pass rush either.